Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And I want to thank the organizers for this opportunity to be with fellow humans united around peace and empowerment in the United Nations Plaza. I think it's very meaningful. I want to share with you a few stories about women empowerment and peace, which I believe presents or symbolizes a historic juncture where women empowerment movement from the West meets with dynamics coming from the East. Let me begin with the story of a TV show that is aired in Turkey on a channel called Mehtap TV. This is a family counseling show that is hosted by 3 women. On the left-hand side is a medical doctor, Dr. Figen S. In the middle is Dr. Yasemin Aktosun, who is a psychologist. And on the right is a teacher, and her name escapes me for the moment. But these 3 women present a particular special example of empowering women and its impact on the society. Of course, it's very significant that these women are given the opportunity to address the society, both men and women. But more importantly, these women talk about issues that pertain to women and men and children. They voice their opinions. They talk about balancing their roles as mothers, as wives, as professional women. They voice their views on what women empowerment should be. I think that last point is the most significant one. What do women think about their empowerment, and are they able to voice their opinion, and is it heard? And in this particular show, I know that it is being heard because many times they get messages, emails or Twitter, something from male viewers, and they address and they talk about those comments. In the Western history of women empowerment movements, sometimes also referred to as feminist movements, there is a talk about 3 waves. The first of these waves was about basic rights for women, for also children at the time, work hours, wages, humane conditions for children as well. So for this wave, we could say that it was universally, or it could have been universally embraced by anybody. Then came the second wave. According to some experts, this wave was around 1960 to 1980 or 1990. Now this wave built upon the first wave. And in this wave, there was a concept of a universal female identity and a set of rights which some thought ought to be had by all the women in the world. This wave also achieved some successes, especially in Western countries. They achieved, in certain aspects at least, gender equality, opportunities for women. But this wave also came with certain, if you want to call it, handicaps or drawbacks or negative consequences for women. And more importantly, especially in the East and South of the world, there was a backlash. There was a negative reaction to this wave, at least in certain societies, at least by some parts of those societies. Now, beginning in the 90s, according to some experts again, we are seeing a third wave of women empowerment movement, which is more cognizant and respectful of the diversity of women, of their backgrounds, cultural, religious, ethnic, national, regional backgrounds. With this recognition comes a respect, and also the emphasis, the conceptual shift that if you're going to empower women, women should be at the center of this. They should determine, they should identify what that means. Other women or other men should not be imposing upon them what empowerment means. I think this third wave actually presents an opportunity where East and West and South and North can come together around this issue of women empowerment. course, this wave also comes at a time of contrasts. As a Muslim coming from predominantly Muslim background, I am personally aware of many examples of this concept. But in predominantly Muslim societies, we see a contrast. On the one hand, we have seen women prime ministers or president, people, women with presidential powers, judges, scientists, women in very powerful positions. We have seen women parliamentarians in some countries, actually proportionally more than some other Western countries. On the other hand, we also see societies or regions where women are barred from education or certain roles. And more strikingly, recently we have seen this little girl being attacked for defending education rights for girls. So this picture, I think, illustrates that contrast. On the one hand, we have Malala in the hospital after the attack. In the next picture, we see, I believe, Pakistan's prime minister or president honoring her, probably for the attack, for her contributions. And also, we see a group of Pakistani girls at a school. This is a particular example that I'm personally remotely affiliated with. That's a Pakistani-Turkish school. So the people who attacked Malala were Pakistani. The president or prime minister who honored Malala was also Pakistani. These other girls who are attending school are Pakistani. Their parents are Pakistani. And these thousands of people in the background who are condemning the attack on Malala are also Pakistani. So obviously there is a contrast there. There is a difference in worldviews. So what are the factors in these differences, in different views on women's empowerment or women's roles in society? Obviously there are cultural traditions, as was mentioned in the first panel, some traditions that predate the Abrahamic religions. There are also different interpretations of religious traditions. For instance, in the example of women assuming administrative roles, governing roles, we are aware that certain religious interpretations refer to a prophetic saying in which the prophet talks about, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, talks about a woman assuming power in Persia at that time, and making comment about a society that makes their girls or daughters their rulers, a negative comment. And taking this comment out of context, generalizing it, we see that in certain societies there is resistance, or groups, there is resistance in women assuming governing roles. In contrast to this, we see other Muslim scholars and interpreters underlying that particular saying by the Prophet was overgeneralized. It was referring to a particular kingdom in Persia at the time, and it should not be generalized. And they compare or contrast this saying with other sayings and also verses in the Quran, in which, for instance, the queen of Saba, Sheba, is praised as a powerful, able governor. So we see these different interpretations resulting in different attitudes towards women's role in these societies. As a third factor, we also see competing concerns. Sometimes it is not that a parent is against their daughters getting education, but they are concerned about their being away from harmful substances or harmful behavior, harassment, for instance. So let me give a couple of examples about that third issue. This is a picture from southeast Turkey with a predominantly Kurdish population. In both southeast and east and northeast Turkey, as a matter of fact, and central Turkey, the population is predominantly socially conservative, and they do have reservations about sending their daughters to schools beyond what is mandated by the government. In this particular example, a social movement that is a faith-originated social movement by the name of Hizmet established, this is a Muslim-originated social movement, established tutoring centers and also schools in which they guaranteed to the parents that their daughters will be safe from substance abuse, and also harassment and any danger that they fear about their daughters. That allowed thousands of and tens of thousands of parents to send their girls to these schools for education beyond their preliminary elementary education. So sometimes in the context of this third factor, there is competing concerns. If we are able to address that competing concern, we are able to empower women without any conflict, without any negative consequences. This is the picture that I mentioned before from a school in Pakistan that educates girls. Here's an example from a school of nursing, again in Turkey. And in the background, you may not be able to see, but you see covered girls, observant Muslim girls, attending a nursing school with their friends who are not covered. So we see various levels of observance, and they are comfortable attending this school at the college level. Again, a matter of trust is able to resolve an attitude issue with respect to empowerment of women, education of women, girls. This picture is from a school in Western Turkey, where girls are given an education in not only positive sciences, but also arts and humanities. In the little picture, you see a girl who won a medal in a social sciences Olympiad. And the balance of social sciences education and positive science education is very important because focus on the positive sciences has been seen by education experts as leading to radicalism. Therefore, a balanced education that emphasizes both is very important for both boys and girls. What is the result of a balanced education? One example here from New York, from the recent Sandy disaster, hurricane. The co-organizer of this event, Peace Islands Institute, was instrumental in helping put this program together, in working in partnership with a Brooklyn-based Jewish organization. They formed this, they contributed to this Young Peace Builders program. And this picture is actually from Wall Street Journal, where Turkish Muslim girls are peeling carrots with their Jewish friends from Brooklyn, helping Sandy victims. I think this picture symbolizes the possibilities, potential for educating the girls, and also for giving them opportunity to experience diversity and establish friendships across ethnic, religious borders. To go back to my original story of this TV show, where we see a medical doctor, a psychologist, and a teacher expressing their views, coming from their roles as women, as mothers, as wives, as professionals, being educated in Western sciences, and also having been educated in religious sciences, expressing their views, their attitude, their perspective on what women's empowerment should be. What should be the man's role in that? What should be the attitudes toward each other? And where should be the proper balance? I think this point represents a historic junction or juncture where we are able to advance the issue of women empowerment where they can incorporate both East and West and both North and South. And I think we should not miss this opportunity.